a lot of the time you're going to be seeing something, and if you're not ready, you're not ready, and that's just where you are in life right now, and it's what it takes. Like, there's no point in reading, for example, in terms of consumption, there's no point in reading a beast of a book that others would refer to as a Bible if you're still at your step one, your chapter one. It's just, you're just not going to be able to resonate with it at the 100%. Level that it can be afforded to, So it's really understanding where you're at and the immediate next steps you need to take to get to where you want to go.
Yeah. A concept that I really like, that I think describes that perfectly, is the just in time and just in case information. Like, a lot of people decide to consume just in case information, where it's, as you said, like, it's not the right time to consume that information, yet they consume that information, or they make that decision to, I don't know, spend time on something, right? Consuming something that is not really going to move the needle forward, because it's just, it's not necessary right now, right? And making that distinction as well of being aware of, where you're currently at, and not take, for example, if someone is like, the type of suggestions that I take, or the type of tips or advice that I take, are not from people that are at a beginning stage, right? Like, it makes sense, but people need to be aware of that. The fact that it's for different stages of the journey, you need different things. And so understanding what is your just-in-time information, what is the precise mentorship, what is the precise book, video that you should be watching at that instant, right? To make the next big breakthrough in your life, is such an incredibly important skill to have nowadays, because we live in a world where there's an information overload,
Absolutely. It's so easy to be distracted nowadays, because you log on to Facebook, you have your newsfeed. You log on to Instagram, everything's there, just searching for attention. Even YouTube, you go in, recommendations everywhere. And of course, there's ways to, add blockers and put those things, like those stimuli, out of your life. But you are bombarded, like it or not, and being able to know exactly what it is that will help you get to where you want to go and will help you take the next steps is probably one of the most important skills of the 21st century, to be honest.
Yeah. It's literally being able to kind of say, this doesn't help me. Like, the ability to pick what you should focus on is so incredibly rare nowadays. It's one of the things that would set people apart, the ability to focus and to get into a state of deep work, but also to, be selective about the inputs that you let in. And I think that's one of the things that I want people to take away from the conversation, which is just be very selective with the things you put in, the input that you have, whether it's, food, but also the books you read, right? If it's just in case and it's not really going to serve you, and it's just you're just going to store it in your head, or it's not like, the best type of knowledge or energy that you should be like consuming right now, then don't do it. Be selective about the things that you let into your mind, and the type of ideas that you consume, because they can either program you in a very negative manner, or they can just make you waste a lot of time. Like, for example, this idea that you need to be constantly reading. Yeah, maybe at a certain stage, but it's not black and white. Like, it's very gray. Like, you need to, as we talked about, like, that seesaw concept is so incredibly important.
100%. And I think that concept of being selective with what you consume and what you have in your life applies across the board, right? So to food, to what you're consuming in terms of content, to the people you have in your life, to the places you go, to the things you spend your free time doing. All these things add up to the habits you partake in, which end up constituting who you are in the end of the day.
100%.